Welcome Division Agents, this is DivisioNinja here, bringing you my first ever build video for Title Update 6, and what an awesome title update it is with all the new features that Massive have brought to the game for us. I'm really excited, and I just was excited to get this build out to you guys, so let's get right into it. So I've taken full effect of all the new talents that have been introduced to the game, and I'm just excited to share this with you. So I'm actually running the technician specialization at the moment. As you know, everybody is trying to level up, so the same as I am. So with this new talent or new specialization, you actually get a PO17 launcher. So this gives you guided missiles, guys. This is awesome. So I'm still leveling up, so I need to get that out there with all the damage. Okay, and then I'm also running the Eagle Bearer, which is still very powerful. I understand that's Title Update 6. It's just had a slight nerf, so losing the 10% extra weapon damage on the weapon, but it's still, guys, it still hits hard. I'm managed to get up to 26.7k base damage, which is still insane, guys. It still very hits hard, but with all the extra talents, as you know, with the Eagle Strike, so if you hit headshots, then you're getting an extra 50% damage and tenacity for 10 seconds as well to get the buff. So tenacity gives you 40 to 80% extra weapon damage until the buff expires. Okay, so that's the Eagle Bearer, and it's got protective fire, so it gives you 10% extra bonus armor. Okay, and then going on to my secondary, I'm running the Tactical Org, which is an SMG. So it has Breadbasket, optimized, and protective reload. With Breadbasket, it's had a bit of a buff, so now we get 50% headshot damage. That stacks 3 times, so you can actually get an additional 150% headshot damage. So if you're hitting enemies with the Org, it's actually giving you a buff on the Eagle Bearer, so it stacks up to 150%, so you get 150% Eagle Bearer headshot damage or Tactical Org headshot damage. So that's awesome, guys. So then moving on to my sidearm, I have a tactical M19 11. So, and it's running eyeless, extra magazine, and stop, drop, and roll. So stop, drop, and roll is critical. Guys, at the moment with all the status effects with the burn, bleed, and shock, so you can actually roll out and get out of that effect straight away. So that's something to definitely consider in your build. Okay, then going on to my mask. So I have a Gilligard mask. It's actually one of the named pieces that they've introduced to the game. So it's called Night Watcher. So on this mask, I have the attributes are 21,000 health, and I have 179 skill power, and I have a new talent which is called Perfect Spotter. So it's a bit of an upgrade to the normal spotter, which gives you 15% now instead of 20%, and then with the Perfect Spotter it gives me 20% extra weapon damage, so it gives me additional 5%. Then I'm also running a utility mod, which is the Chem Launcher skill power, which I need for my build. So it has 103 skill power and shield skill power as well. Okay, so that's my mask here. Then going over to my backpack, I have an Alp Summit backpack. So this has 7% weapon damage. It has 32k armor to give me that little buff on my arm, because I'm a little bit squishy with this build. And then I have a new talent called Spark. So Spark is very awesome. You get an additional 15% weapon damage to any enemies that are affected by your skills or by explosives. So that will give you a buff as well, 15% extra weapon damage. And then I also have 25% damage to elites. As you know, the damage to elites has had a bit of a change. Now it's just a unique talent, so it doesn't stack anymore. So you can't have it on all pieces. It'll only be effective on one piece. So, but the one piece is giving you 25%. So I'm getting 25% damage to elites on this build. Plus, if you put it on your secondary weapon, any talents damage to elites build, that will stack as well. So you can build that up a little bit. And then I'm running a utility mod, which is Chem Launcher, Skill Power, and I'm also running an offensive mod, which is my 4% assault rifle damage. Okay. So then moving over to my chest piece, I'm running a Wyvern Wear chest piece, excuse me, which has got 7% crit hit damage. So I'm getting from having that piece on, and then plus I'm getting 10% headshot damage to stack up the headshot damage. So with the eagle, because I'm trying to use the eagle strike to get the additional weapon damage, that definitely helps. I have 28k of armor, and I have a 13% weapon damage mod that I got from one of the bloodsucker pieces that you could actually get from the vendor a while ago. So I did buy quite a few of those, so they're coming really handy today. So I can roll it onto this build. So I have also another new talent which is called Vigilance. So this gives me 25% extra weapon damage if I'm not taking any damage. So since I take damage, I lose the damage for about 4 seconds. So it's critical that you try and stay in cover or try and get the first hit in on the other player. So then you can give them more damage. So that definitely is something that you need to farm and get on your weapon, on your builds. And then because I needed to stack up my reds from up to 11, I'll explain that in a second. It has 2 offensive mod slots, so I've got 4 offensive mod slots on the chest piece alone. So that gives me 5% assault rifle damage and another 5% assault rifle, and then plus an additional 2% weapon damage as well from the mods as well. Okay, and then going over to my gloves, I'm running another named item. So this is the Sokolov Firm Handshake. So as I explained before, with the name pieces, it gives you an additional perfect talent. So I have on this build, I have Perfectly Wicked. So this gives me an additional 20% extra weapon damage, where the normal weapon Wicked gives you 15 to any enemies that are affected by a status effect. So that gives you 20% extra weapon damage for 20 seconds. So that's totally awesome, guys. It really does help. It stacks the damage is stacking up, as you can see, and I'll tell you exactly how much damage it's doing in addition to my weapon damage that I have on the Eagle Bearer and the other weapons. Okay, and then moving over to my holster, I'm running a Gilligard Jackrabbit holster. The Jackrabbit holsters are really good because it has 2 offensive mods, so you can slots, you can put offensive mod slots in there as well. So I'm running 41,000 health on this one. I rolled onto there, and 135 skill power. And then in my offensive mod slots, I have 3% assault rifle damage and have an additional 4% as well. So that's all stacking up to my assault rifle damage there. That's critical as well. Okay, and then moving over to my knee pads, I'm running the Fenris holster. Oh, sorry, Fenris group knee pads. So this gives me an additional 10% assault rifle damage to my build as well. I did have to farm this a little bit just to try and get a Fenris knee pad with a red attribute and a free talent slot, so I could roll on this beauty onto here. So I have another new talent called Composure. So this gives me 10% weapon damage while I'm in cover. So that is completely awesome, guys. You can see that the weapon is stacking up here. So that's all the pieces, guys. So as you can see, I'm getting an immense amount of damage just from the new talents. So let's run through it quickly again. So with Perfectly Spotter, I'm getting 20% to pulse to enemies. With Spark, I'm getting 15% extra there. And then my chest piece, I have Vigilance, it's 25 there. So that's now already 20, that's 35, 40, that's 60% just on those three. But it doesn't end there, guys. 60. Then on my gloves, have Perfectly Wicked, so have another 20% there. So that is 80%, guys, already. 80% on 4 pieces. Then going over to my Kneepads with the Composure, so that's an additional 10%. That's 90%, guys. 90% additional weapon damage just from the talents. That's just completely awesome. This is gonna blow people away. As you can see, I'm gonna show you some game footage. And then going on to my stats, guys. Let's go down. So on my stats, on the weapon stat damage, I have 26,000 weapon damage, and for PvP it's 18,000. I have 30% crit hit chance, 47% crit hit damage, a very respectable 65% headshot damage to get those headshots, and then I have 26.5% all weapon damage bonus and a staggering 56% assault rifle damage. I know that this could be higher, but just that I would need to get higher assault rifle damage mods, like 5% mods on all pieces, so that would really buff the assault rifle. So yeah, so this is my build, guys. You know, so I'm getting the 90% there. I'm getting an additional 56 and 26. 6 is 80, 90. That's almost another 90%, 80-90% there. Sorry, my maths is quite shit. I'm sorry. So I'm getting additional 180% damage, weapon damage to my enemies. You know, this build is just going to blow people away. Just going over to my armor, I'm running 257k, which is still respectable, so still good, but I know I can get the higher if I get a higher armor mod for my backpack. So that's the only place I can put the armor on, really, because I can't roll anything off on the pieces unless I find another Vigilance piece with better armor, and I can roll that off. But guys, this is the build. So you know, please like and subscribe if you like this video, and please follow me, and you know, and I can bring you a lot more Division content. I've got some great videos with game footage as well, so I'm going to attach this to this video so you can have a look at this build in action. Anyway, take care, guys. DivisioNinja out. Bye. No. Yeah, I got 4 in a row. Got 4 in a row. Yeah, I need to cap it. I need to cap this game. I think I died once at the beginning. Oh, that's so awesome. Look at that. 9 kills.